Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cavletics, an inside look into the athletics department here at Bossier Parish Community College. I'm your host, Charlie Cavell, and even though it's not what I'd consider baseball weather outside, spring is just around the corner, and if you can listen very closely, you can hear the ping of baseballs being hit off of aluminum bats out here at BPCC. The college baseball season is upon us, and don't look now, but Coach Bobby Gillum's Cavalier baseball team is off to a 7-0 start this season, and it's the best start for a Cavaliers team baseball-wise in over a decade. With that being said, let's welcome the head coach of the BPCC Cavaliers baseball team, Bobby Gillum. And Coach, welcome to the show. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us.
Glad to be back.
Well, before we get into discussing this year's team and the fast start, let's begin by talking about your new coaching staff, Garner, Jeremy Sheehan, and Peter Stark, and you've brought in John Phillips, who was at Lamar, and Josh Hendricks, who played at Auburn University, Montgomery, and has been all over the coaching world, so to speak. Tell us about Josh and John and what they bring to you and your staff.
They're both out there doing a lot of recruiting. We've all been recruiting, but Josh has done a lot of recruiting. Josh works with the catchers. He runs third base, does a good job helping us create some offense and working with the hitters. John brings D1 experience.
Yeah, I mean, he comes from a historically great program in Lamar University.
Exactly. He's been around, yes. He brings good experience. He does infield. He's running the pitching on a day-to-day basis. He kind of keeps everything in order. He's a pro's pro.
Did you feel it was necessary for the program to kind of go in a different direction with your coaching staff? You had Jeremy and Peter here for a couple of years. Now, did you feel, okay, it's maybe time to go in a little bit of a different direction?
Well, this is a fluent business, and that's kind of part of it, and we're always trying to make the team better. Players, coaches, everything. We're trying to run the best program we can.
You also added Chase McCann as a student assistant. Chase played for you last year but decided to give up playing and pursue a coaching career. And as the old adage goes, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Chase's father, Ed McCann, was your head coach when you played at Centenary College. So there's obviously a strong tie there.
There's always comes a day we all got to quit playing, and he grew up around baseball. I remember being in college in the locker room, and he was 5, 6, 7 years old, running around the locker room as a little kid. And we just kind of talked about coaching. I think it's a good opportunity, and I think he can grow into being a good coach. His dad was Division I head coach for 15 years, so my mom taught Chase in kindergarten. So it does kind of go way back, and it's kind of cool to see it come full circle.
You started your third year here at BPCC, and I know it's been a struggle for you both professionally and personally over the past 2 years. Is it safe to say that you weren't used to this kind of a struggle either as a player or a coach?
You play this game long enough, it's a hard game. If you can't handle struggle, you're not going to make it in this game very, very far. But, I came here to win. I came here to be a part of a winner. And it's not fun when you don't come to the ballpark feeling like you don't have a chance to win. So I was in dire need to change that.
Well, the program hasn't had a winning record in nearly, or really over a decade. And, kind of truth be told, it hasn't been relative on a national scale in nearly 2 decades. The last time BPCC baseball was really good was back in 2000 and 2001 when the Cavs posted back-to-back 40-plus win seasons under then-coach Jay Artigues, who now is the athletic director at Southeastern Louisiana University. With all that being said, and looking back, 3 years ago, did you know then that this was going to be a 3 to 5 year process before you really could get the program moving in the direction that you wanted it to move?
You create long-term goals, and of course you do, but if you're thinking too far down the road, you're missing that moment. And I was just coming in here to work hard every day, and knew success probably wasn't going to happen overnight, but you got to get in there and put your just full force, get into it, and there was always a plan. I knew we were going to win. I'm used to winning. I know how to create it. I knew it was going to take care of itself. We're just still in the middle of trying to get there.
You've also made a number of improvements to the BPCC baseball field last year with the press box and the halo around home plate, and this year, a fresh coat of paint to the dugouts, the press box, and but you just recently added a brand new aluminum fence, outfield fence from foul line to foul line. Are these improvements, are they part of a larger strategic plan to be able to get the BPCC baseball program as a whole on the same competitive plane as other opponents and teams in Region 14?
I mean, sure, we want to be as good as anybody, and the school's growing, the campus is awesome, and we're trying to get athletics. I think all of us, all the whole coaches, the whole staff, everybody, not just baseball, we're all trying to improve down there. We're trying to hopefully work out a locker room, and yeah, we want to be able to get any player in here and like what they see.
Well, folks, what we're talking about is having the same or better facilities as the other schools in Region 14. You have to have great facilities in order to compete with the San Jacintos, the Navarros, the Northeast Texases, for example. You have to compete with those schools for players, and when you're going up against a San Jacinto that has a litany of former major leaguers who have given back and donated to the program, it's very difficult to compete. I mean, they play at Andy Pettit Park. You know, Roger Clemens has come through there. I mean, so just give you trying to compete with those programs, not just for players, but also facility-wise, in order to recruit those same high caliber level players. Is that what the improvements and what other improvements are you planning on making over the next few years?
I mean, sure. Hey, the games are a battle. The games are competitive, but the recruiting is just as much. We're all out there, in many cases, fighting for the same guy. Sometimes you have your own people where you're finding guys that other guys aren't finding, but when you're all fighting for that same guy, you got to be able to separate yourself or show that you have what everybody else has.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, when you're, like I said, when you're competing against programs, I mean, for instance, the other day I was over at Panola for a basketball game, and you walk out of the visiting locker room, and there are jerseys like these encased in glass, like we have behind us, but they're of the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Rays and on of former Major League Baseball players that have come through Panola College and that have subsequently given back. You know, that's where I'm sure you're aspiring to get to.
There's 10 or 12 big leaguers right now playing that played in this conference, and so yeah, we want to be at top of it. We want to get that kind of talent. That's this conference it's a minor league for Division I baseball. If you don't have those players, you're not going to be successful. And we're trying to get those players and then develop those players and send them off successful and be able to have some pride and proud of coming from BPCC.
We're going to take a brief time out right now, but stay tuned because following the break, we'll have more with BPCC head baseball coach Bobby Gillum. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I am protecting life on our planet.
Day by day, with every single thing I do.
I conserve the world's biggest forests. I safeguard the rivers
and oceans.
I stand up for coral reefs,
rainforests,
tundras,
deserts,
and grasslands.
I work with communities in the Amazon,
the Arctic,
the Congo,
and the Himalayas.
I collaborate with the biggest companies on Earth
to make their processes and their products more sustainable. I influence governments
to create policy that recognizes and respects
the importance of nature.
I give a voice to all animals who call Earth their home.
I'm protecting life on our planet.
But because I'm with WWF,
I am not doing it alone.
6,000 staff.
6 million members.
In over 100 countries.
For more than half a century.
Businesses.
Foundations.
Governments.
Communities.
Individuals.
And one iconic panda.
Together, we are protecting life on our planet,
including our own.
Because together,
anything is possible.
Welcome back to Cavletics. I'm Charlie Cavell. We're visiting with BPCC head baseball coach Bobby Gillum. And, well, Bobby, let's dive right into the 2019 season, which, fans, it's already underway. And Bobby, your ball club is off to a sensational 7-0 start. And you and I had a conversation after last season, and your exact words to me were, we have got to get better players in order to compete. And by the tone of your voice and the look in your eyes, I thought to myself, there's the fiery, competitive Bobby Gillum. He's back. You know, the kid that I enjoyed watching play at Loyola and Centenary, he's back. And so I guess what I'm getting at is you know, you finally kind of figuring some things out, but one of those was just got to get better players.
Everybody likes to win, but you know, there's a different level when you really just hate to lose. And we're in a business of trying to win, but it's just a business of being able to compete and develop players and run a real program and feel like when we go to the ballpark every day, we got a chance to win and get in the fifth, sixth inning and be one hit away of winning a game. And it just completely went to reback of we brought in new players. We cleaned house, we got new players. And kind of learning how important character is, of getting guys that want to work. Talent's great, but man, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And you got to have guys that have consistency and want to get better every day and know how to focus.
Well, I know you brought in over 50 players in the fall, eventually whittling down your roster to the players that you have now. I know it was a situation where you felt you had to bring in that many players to find guys who can compete in this very, very tough Region 14. I mean, you know, we mentioned San Jacinto. They went again to the national tournament. Northeast Texas was outstanding last year. It took them to the brink in the conference championship. Navarro was outstanding last year. They had dudes. They had some guys that could really play. And so, obviously, you made the conscientious decision, hey, we've just got to get better players.
Right, and we went and did that, and I think we're going to bring up Hudson on the board and got some guys to transfer in. You know, Hudson's a legitimate Division I player, and so he had some leadership and some help and some thump in the middle of our lineup. But yeah, we've put together a good group.
Well, you brought back only 3 position players from last year's team, and outfielder Kyle Jones and Gavin Pelletier, your right fielder, and catcher Ty Dragos. But let's go position by position and talk about each player and what they bring to the team, starting with your catchers. Mentioned Dragos, Ty's back, had a good year last year, but he's so far has been splitting time this year with Adrian Menjadas. And tell us about their similarities as catchers, but also some of their differences.
Well, look, they're both 2 good players. They both can hit, they both can throw, they both can catch. We want to use them both. We're a better team that we get to use them both. Minoharis has some versatility. We can put, I mean, he could play some infield if we have to. He can play some left field. They're both good enough where when they're not playing, we're still trying to get their bats in the lineup as a DH or anything. And it's a luxury to have two guys you want to play all the time in that position.
A guy you just brought up and we talked about at first base, Northwestern State transfer, and a guy from my hometown, Hudson Laborde, who's from Lafayette, and you said it, he's a legitimate Division I player. Was at Northwestern State University last year. Folks, don't forget the Demons were in the same regional with LSU and the Oregon State Beavers, who happen to be your national champions. So, and Northwestern held their own in that tournament. So, you know, Hudson does. He's a little bit older than most freshmen and sophomores in junior college, and he gives you, I think, a little leadership from an older guy that you normally don't see at the JUCO level.
Yeah, he was there at the highest level and had to come down here to get his opportunities to try to get back, to get in a good situation where he can get the playing time he wants, and that's part of this. It's sometimes guys' last chance to come back down here and play, and he's off to a great start, and hopefully he keeps hitting the baseball for us.
Yeah, he's been really tearing it up.
Oh man, yeah, it's great. It's great.
You certainly upgraded your middle infielders with Kanan Dodge, another young man out of Lafayette, and the baseball, high school baseball powerhouse that is Turlings Catholic. The Rebels have been the three straight state champions down in Lafayette, and then your shortstop Bobby Lotta, who has made an immediate impact with both his bat and his glove, and you certainly upgraded your middle infielders from last year.
The strength of our team, hopefully we keep doing a lot of things well. The strength of our team is our defense. We have an athlete in every position that can play it. Kanan Dodge is a trained second baseman. He's as polished as it gets. Bobby Lotta is just a super athlete, has endless range, endless potential. Doty at third. They're all three gold glove type infielders. Doty is, I mean, that's if you're building a third baseman, that's the kind of guy you build over there. So, I mean, our infield is good as anything I can ask, and we're just trying to keep those guys consistent and playing.
Yeah, you mentioned freshman Will Doty out of Iota. He's from Crowley, went to Iota High School. I happen to be personal friends with his family and his parents, and Will's one of those young men who you can definitely see playing at the next level at a four-year school because he's a heck of a player.
He's a grinder. He's tough. He gives good at bats. He's just, you know, he's that ultimate compliment you call. He's just a baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, because he's one of those guys that he may not go 4 for 4, but he'll go 1 for 4, and that 1 for 4 is going to be a double with the bases loaded or drive in a couple of runs at a crucial point.
He does a lot of things to help the baseball team win, and you know, and when the biggest thing about him is when his offense isn't on, his defense doesn't suffer. He's still that excellent third baseman, and that's what's going to keep him playing this game.
In the outfield, you've got Gavin Pelletier and Kyle Jones, as we were mentioned earlier, returning in Gavin in right, Kyle in center. And then you have a couple of newcomers who have really gotten off to good starts in Zachary Lee and Colin Kirsch.
We got both of them. Coleman Narin, a transfer from a local Benton product, a transfer from ULM. We've got 3 or 4 guys that are Zachary Trangmeyer started off hitting the ball a little bit this year. We got 3 or 4 guys filling that third outfield spot, and that's good. That we got competition. We got it gives me some ways to be creative with the lineup, and it's the first time since I've been here that I've had difficulty figuring out how to get guys at bats. We have more good hitters than there are slots to fill, and so that's a good problem to have.
Well, and the thing is with Gavin being in right field, you're returning your best hitter returning from last year. And then in center field with Kyle's still, what, Bobby? He's probably only played baseball for maybe 1 year fully because he's such a great athlete. He played everything at Calvary. And now his focus is solely on baseball, and he's still learning the game a little.
He's still learning the game every day, but it's, you know, there's not many guys that you would go pay to watch catch fly balls, and I would pay to go watch that guy run fly balls down. He's fun. He's pretty to watch. He's at full speed on his first step. You know, he's an exciting player.
Well, you talked about it just now with all the different guys kind of battling for some playing time. One thing that you have this year is quality depth, a luxury you haven't had in the previous 2 seasons.
Well, we've got depth in the position guys, yeah, and we've got depth on the mound. We've got a bigger group of good players. We're still figuring out who we are and who's going to be there at the end of the day, but me having options makes it a lot more fun.
Well, you and I have been around this game a long time, and we both know you can never, ever have enough good pitching. And you have some returning pitchers like Will Hine, Ethan Maxey. There's, I believe that's Will. That's Maxey up on the mound there, I believe. And yep. And then also Hunter Shaw out of Evangel. But which new pitchers have contributed to the fast start for your team?
I mean, as a team, we've been excellent. We really have. We've been throwing the ball over the plate and keeping the ball down. But look, Jake Fredrickson is our closer. He is a legitimate frontline closer. If we can get the ball in his hands at the end of the game, then we're probably going to have a pretty good year. Casey Todd is going to be at the back of the bullpen. Ty O'Neill, a transfer from Northwestern, another D1 product. We're still figuring out our starting rotation, Zane Morehouse, but we have a bullpen now. We have guys to go to when we're in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th inning, and we think they're going to keep us in the game all year.
It looked like that was Jose Cabrera Jr. That was that last video spot, and he's pitched really well.
He's got a little late life to his ball, and he's been striking out some hitters. Yeah, we've got a lot of different guys. That's the whole thing. I mean, right now we got guys hitting the ball, we got guys fielding the ball, and we got guys pitching the ball. It's fun. It's not gonna. We've kind of lived through the dream right now, and it's about to start getting tougher, and we're about to figure out who we are. But I think we're going to be able to keep playing good baseball and having fun and going to the yard every day.
Well, you know, getting off to this 7-0 start has to have set a tone. You know, maybe not a full tone, but at least, hey, you get your younger players, your freshmen particularly, and then your newcomers. Hey, you know, we're a good ball club.
Yeah.
We're winning, and let's keep this rolling.
Yeah.
So it does set kind of a tone.
I mean, we're confident to say that we're a good ball club. Now, how good we are, what we're going to do, we don't know that yet. But we're at that point where we can feel that we're a good ball club.
Well, talk about the schedule just real briefly, because it is a grind in Region 14. You play 30 conference games, and you know you'll play a school like Tyler that most everybody's familiar is in Region 14, but they don't play Division I baseball. I want to say they're in Division III in baseball, but Tyler's always a team that is outstanding and competes for their Division World Series every year.
Well, we got 4 games with them next week, and I've been watching video of them, and they've got 4 guys throwing the ball 91, 93 miles an hour. So we're going to see some legitimate big-time arms next week and kind of get a test of where we are and who we are.
The undefeated Cavaliers will be on the road for their next couple of series, but return home on Saturday, February 23rd, when they play host to those Tyler Junior College Apaches at the BPCC baseball field. First pitch of that doubleheader scheduled for noon, so come out and enjoy some BPCC Cavaliers baseball. And that's all the time we have for today. You know, Bobby and I could continue talking baseball for well into next week. But, Bobby, I'd like to thank you for being on the show and come and visit with us today and give us a look at the 2019 Cavaliers. Good luck to you and continued success to you and the Cavaliers this season. And, folks, thank you for watching Cavletics today. Join us again next Friday as we bring you the latest on Bossier Parish Community College Cavalier Athletics. I'm Charlie Cavell, bidding you a good sports day.